Hey everybody, welcome back to Fiction Technician. My name is Jane and I am so excited for this episode. My friend author Brittany Wang and I are breaking down our list of our top 10 books every writer just has to read. So I will give you the first 5 and then you will pop over to her channel and check out the other 5. If you haven't seen her channel yet, you just have to be there. She is going to get you organized, get you inspired, and she's an incredibly genuine person who's putting out great content on writing every week. The first book I want to talk about is called Writing the Breakout Novel Workbook. It's by literary agent Donald Moss, and it's actually a follow-up to his longer book, Writing the Breakout Novel. But I actually think you can get all the value just by buying the workbook. It is going to make all the same points as the longer text. It will just do it in briefer sections, which to me is all bonus. It also has all these amazing exercises that I have used to enrich my characters and plot, often taking them in new, surprising directions that I really didn't see coming before I started the exercise. When Moss talks about a breakout novel, he's talking about a novel that is an outlier in 2 ways. First, in sales. It draws in a larger audience than might have been expected for that genre or that author. And secondly, in depth, complexity of character, scene, storyline. And the book very strongly makes the case that these 2 things are inextricably intertwined. It's really those deep, complex books that outperform, that draw in an outsized audience and compel members of that audience to recommend it to their friends. This workbook is not the book that you turn to when you have a manuscript with a few little bells and whistles that need tweaking. This is what you turn to when you have a very promising project that you know could be richer, more compelling, more resonant, and you just need it to give up everything it's got to you. If you do all the exercises in this book, your protagonist is going to become larger than life. His supporting cast will become more engaging, and your antagonist will develop a soft or vulnerable or principled streak that will somehow make him even scarier. The next book I want to talk about is called Self-Editing for Fiction Writers by Rennie Brown and Dave King. The edition I have is from all the way back in 2004, and already by that point, the authors begin the book by talking about how traditional publishers are doing less editing than in previous years. Well, that trend has only continued. So self-editing is really an essential skill for all writers to learn, not just self-publishers, but traditional writers as well. Learning how to self-edit is the most reliable way to make sure that the manuscript in which you have invested so much time, work, and love will get the polish it needs to really make its mark. This book covers all the topics that you're going to need to understand in order to give your manuscript the polish it deserves. Things like show don't tell and how to integrate exposition seamlessly, and also several chapters on how to edit your dialogue for maximum tension and resonance. But what really makes this book great is not so much the points it makes, but that each point is covered in depth. Each of these editing topics has a whole chapter in which we see several examples of work that was struggling with a particular editing issue, and we see what the writers did to correct it. Sometimes with simple line editing, sometimes by restructuring an entire scene or even plot. So this is a great book to read in its entirety, but it is also a great book to keep near you when you start your editing process. So when you encounter a particularly sticky situation, you can flip right to the chapter that deals with that topic and not only get the answer, but be inspired by the different ways other writers have tackled it. Speaking of feeling inspired, let's talk about my favorite book for giving me a little jolt of inspiration and determination, and that's Steven Pressfield's The War of Art. If you don't know what war he's talking about, then I presume you have never experienced writer's block. But I have, and there is no book I know that is better able to make me fall in love again with the idea of myself as a writer while giving me a much-needed kick in the pants. This book is a chronicle of Pressfield's struggle with what he calls resistance and what might more commonly be called writer's block. He talks about the many forms resistance can take in our lives, its power, and how it can ultimately be beaten. This is a deeply spiritual book, and by that I don't mean religious. The spirituality it connects us to is the spirit of the artist that dwells within all creative types. I'm not trying to talk about some lofty, idealized artist on a hill somewhere, but I am talking about something intrinsically valuable, that creative spark that dwells within us and wants us to put our best work and really our best selves out into the world where they can be of value to others. This is a quick read and also a powerful one. All right. I said this video was going to be about books that every writer should read, but the fact is that this next one is targeted mostly at self-publishing writers, or at least those who are considering self-publishing. When I first read Let's Get Digital by self-publishing guru David Gaughran, I was really on the fence about whether to self-publish or pursue a traditional career. Well, he made the case for self-publishing so compellingly that I could not wait to jump in. But what's more important than making the case for self-publishing is that this book tells you how to do it, how to get covers, editors, blurbs, how to build a mailing list and platform, and the pros and cons of signing up for the Kindle Unlimited program. The landscape of digital publishing is constantly evolving, and the great thing about Let's Get Digital is that it is constantly evolving too. Gaughran frequently updates the book. I think we're on the 3rd edition now. So when you buy it, you can be sure that you're not getting information that's out of date. You're getting information that is going to help you with your publishing career today. I've saved the best for last, but first I want to take a moment to thank you for watching and ask you to please smash that like button if you feel this video is helpful. Also, subscribe if you haven't, because I have new content on storytelling coming out every single week. All right, my last book is called Secrets of Story by Matt Bird. This book is not as well known as it should be. I don't think it's sold as many copies as any other book on my list, but if I had to make a video called The One Book Every Writer Should Read, right here. This is it. I really struggled with what to say about this book and how to tell you what you were going to get from it, because there is so much. It is a very comprehensive and insightful guide to storytelling that is going to help you create cohesive storylines and compelling characters and really surprising, tension-laden scenes. One of my favorite insights from the book is that it completely told me exactly what I was doing wrong in my love stories. Previously, I had been trying to create scenes where we could see that the characters were attracted to each other, either physically or morally. There was some quality the other character had they admired. Wrong. This book taught me about creating moments of understanding between my characters, and really, this is how we form human bonds. We don't feel attached to somebody because we admire them. We feel attached to them because we feel a connection and a kinship. That's just one insight from the book. There are dozens, but probably the most value you're going to get from it is the ultimate story checklist. This is a list of 122 questions that you can ask yourself about your story. Don't let that intimidate you, because the goal is not to get a perfect score of 122. The goal is just to use these questions as signposts so that you can check in with your story and make sure you're playing it for all that it's worth. Before we go, don't forget to head over to Author Brittany Wang's channel and check out the other 5 books on our list of top 10 books every writer should read. She's got amazing titles that are going to help you with story structure, character, and the thing every writer wants to learn: how to write faster. Check out